Maybe that's why he doesn't play, because he's so busy at the weekend doing organised crime. Absolutely not. I hate that guy so much. He's relatively alright, but he's just a little bit unhinged. One of your uncles has bought his fourth wife. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to The Golden Sky. I'm Tom. Liverpool have just beaten Wolves 2-1. This is the match ratings for that game. Another win for Liverpool in the league. Another not very convincing win for Liverpool in the league. It is 6 unbeaten. It is 3-1 in a row. However, yeah, not the most exciting game. Not the most convincing game, like I said. It's like the type of game that belongs in the week following Christmas and New Year. The week of death, where nothing is real. Nobody knows if the shops are open. Nobody knows what day it is. It was the perfect game for that. So these are the player ratings. Let's get the lads up on the screen who played in this one for Liverpool. We're going to go through every single player and give them my rating, of course, from the game. So let's start with the goalkeeper. In fact, before we start with the goalkeeper, I need to give a special mention today because we had Humpty Dumpty reffing us today. My favourite, absolutely not. I hate that guy so much. I wonder what he got for Christmas. He was typically shit today, as always. So, you know, maybe he got like, I don't know, a new cup to sit in, given that he's an egg. And maybe he can sit in it after he's had a tough day being a knobhead. Maybe he can sit in the stew on his bad decisions that he makes constantly. Hate him. Every time I see him, it makes me cross. So, 0 for Humpty Dumpty. Hope I don't see him for a while in 2026. Now we'll start with the goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, who, I mean, let's first look at Wolves' goal. He makes a good save from the first header from the giant they had up front. But then all of our players had apparently done osmosis and dissipated through the other side of the box, away from all the Wolves players, and they were all just there to tap it in the net, and there's nothing he can do. Good save from the first header, like I said, so that was positive. Nothing he can do about the second. You can't criticise him for that. You can criticise him, however, for when he was just randomly kicking the ball out of play to Wolves in the second half. Not a fan of that, really, but it does seem to spread through our whole team like a bit of a disease when basically the formula of Liverpool's game kicks off. It pretty much does tend to go, we go 2-0 up, we're playing pretty good, and then we just go completely to pot. We can't keep the ball. We end up having to sit off. All of our players look absolutely knackered, and we almost throw the game away. That's the Liverpool formula, and Alisson does his part by kicking a few balls into touch under no pressure. So if he can maybe stop doing that, that'd be ideal. But understandably, he's probably sunk, 50 plus beers over the festive season. I just feel like he's the type of guy, he has 15 beers, then he gets his guitar out and plays you the best song you've ever heard on it. And you don't even know how, because he doesn't even sing. I'll give him today a 6. It was not vintage. And this performance, guys, was not vintage, bar a few players. One of them being Jeremy Frimpong, who had his best performance maybe in a Liverpool shirt today. I think maybe, is that fair to say? Up there for man of the match for me as well. I thought he was really good, to be honest. Involved a lot involved in pretty much all of our good things in this game. He was a threat out wide. We didn't play a diamond today in the middle, but I did say that him and Kerkez, if we do play a diamond, will benefit from that, being able to get really high up the pitch and be our wide threat. Well, we used Frimpong like that, even though we didn't necessarily play with a diamond in the middle, and it worked really well. And not just for the goal that he set up, but even before that and after it as well in the first half, he's able to just shift the ball onto his right foot, and he's going to do the same thing every time. But it doesn't matter when he does it, because no one can keep up with him. His acceleration is frightening. He must just be all fast twitch fibres in his legs. Whatever makeup a normal human has of fast and slow twitch fibres, he's just got 99% fast twitch, because he is off the mark like a whippet. He really is, and he's gone. And that's what he did today to set up the goal. He just super direct, runs past a few players, really smart cut back into a really dangerous area. I don't think he's particularly picking out Gravenberch or anything like that, but he just gets it into the danger zone, and Gravenberch does the rest. And that was really good to see. Good to see him actually play right back as well. I mean, not that we really had a lot of choice in this game, but the first game of the season against Bournemouth, we lined up with Kerkez and Frimpong at fullbacks, and we haven't done that since that game. So that was really good to see. And both of them had a good game today. So Frimpong, good. He was even good for bits and pieces here in the second half as well. He was so unlucky not to get a free kick on one part where he did a really good bit of strength work to hold off a defender, and then knocked it around another one and ran past him and was basically maured like a grizzly bear, just jumped on his back and ate him. And Humpty Dumpty in the middle was like, that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. He just lost it. He just lost the plot. Maybe someone, I was going to say he lost his head, but there's got to be an egg joke in there somewhere. Maybe someone put the spoon in and took the head off the shell, and then he didn't have his brain anymore. That's the best I've got for you today, guys. Frimpong, 8. I thought he was good. Konate, a bit of a weird performance from our defenders today, because they didn't have anything to do really in the first half, except Konate did give us one full Rhino moment. I don't know if any of you noticed this one, when he just decided the ball came to him, he's a last man back, and he just completely missed it. Tried to pass it, basically completely missed the ball, and they almost got clean through on goal. If it wasn't for Frimpong having 8 million pace, he managed to nip in and win it. But Konate did go full Rhino, just for a little smidge there. Other than that, though, he didn't really have a lot of defending to do, especially in the first half. Second half, had a bit more, but for all of the pressure that we were under, Wolves weren't really pressing us. I never really thought they'd score a second, I'll be totally honest. Didn't necessarily enjoy the last 10 minutes, but I didn't really think they were ever going to score the second. That's just the lack of quality they have. They did have a couple of chances, Konate not really to blame. I'm thinking of the header from Tolu up front. There was a free header. I'm not really going to blame Konate. It was more Van Dijk on the blind side, to be honest. Yeah. So for me, what do you give that performance? Like, just a 6? Standard 6? Just like really disappointing not to keep a clean sheet again. That was only the 10th goal Wolves have scored all season, and we conceded it. Van Dijk, my dad makes a great point during the first half though, and he says, I can't wait for Van Dijk to stop wearing them boots. And I completely agree. Has he actually played well since he's had them boots on? Because I don't know if he has. I hate them. I hate yellow boots on Liverpool players. They never tend to look good. They just look like big, massive bananas on his feet. And nobody wants that. Nobody has ever thought that was a good idea. So Nike, please make some different coloured boots, so then Van Dijk can start playing well again. Not to say that he was particularly bad today. You know, he won some headers. He played some decent passes forward when we were trying to build up in the first half. Things like that. It was an easy game, really, for the centre-backs today. Truth be told, it was a bit of a weird game, all in all. It was like the kind of game that you'd invite, you'd say, right, guys, this is to your mates in the group chat, you'd say, guys, you know, it's the day after Boxing Day, the Christmas celebrations have all died down, you know, why don't we all come to my house, we'll watch the footy, we'll have a great day, we can watch this game, Liverpool are on, we'll sit down, we'll enjoy it, it'll be great fun, you know. Everyone's like, yeah, that's going to be good. We'll have some drinks. We'll have a chat. It'll be great. And then you watch the game. And by the end, all of you are on your phone, not watching. Instead, you're watching whatever YouTube short has come up on your feed, which could be anything, to be honest. And you're all thinking, why did I bother coming to this? Now, if you're not like that and you're like me and you watch every second of that painful experience in that second half, you'd see Van Dijk just really didn't do a whole lot. 6 for him as well. If you disagree, please tell me, because I can't think of anything in particular he did today. Kerkez, though, was actually really good as well. And to be honest, when I'm looking at the team, when I'm looking at the 11 there, it is the new signings that were all the standouts in today's game, which is great, to be honest, after they came under some criticism, unfairly, I think, in the first half of the season there. Good to see them sort of really clicking into gear. And Kerkez had, yet again, a really good performance today, I think. He seems to be improving week on week and hitting a much more consistent level for us, which is great. Today, just battles really, really hard from the first minute. Like, every tackle he makes is a tackle like where he really means to win the ball. You can see there was a little tussle in the corner flag very early on. He won a goal kick for us, and he just it just sets the tone. You know you're going to be in a game when you play against him. Um, he did some really good work second half where he was in a tackle for about 10 minutes. There was one bit where he gets he falls over, he's trying to run past players, he falls over, and then Andre just loses his rag and just starts wellying him in the stomach. Of course, Humpty Dumpty, what do you think he did? He gave a free kick, and then he was just like, that's fine. I know he's already on a yellow, but you can just welly him as much as you want when he's on the ground. Don't worry about it. We'll let that one slide. Kerkez probably enjoyed it, in all fairness. He's that kind of guy. He's probably asking for more. He's a little bit mental. Well, actually, I take that back. He's an absolute complete maniac. But he's improving his football for us. Going forward, he's got a really nice link up with Wirtz going on. I mean, Wirtz was over on that left side again today, which I don't love, but they are certainly good at linking up together. Much, much better than Kerkez and Gakpo are. And I don't really think that's a surprise when you think of how willing of a passer Wirtz is compared to Gakpo. We'll talk about them two later, of course, but Kerkez makes good runs off the ball, found Wirtz with some good passes as well. He's much better when he's in attacking areas. Yeah, I think it was a good performance from him, and I'm also going to give him an 8, the same as Frimpong. He's like Frimpong if he was a little bit slower, but at least 50% more insane. That's maybe with some, I don't know, some sort of twisted mind as a child, and then he became a footballer, and he's relatively all right, but he's just a little bit unhinged. That's Kerkez. Gravenberch scored a nice goal. That was good. Broke the deadlock, and I thought once we score against Wolves, all the belief that they have will just soak out of their system, like when you get a sponge and you just squeeze it and all the water goes out and it goes back to its original form. I thought that's what would happen to Wolves today. We'd sort of squeeze all the water out of them, which was the hope that they might get a draw, and then they'd collapse. And that seemed to be going well when we scored 90 seconds after that one as well. I was thinking, here we go, 3-0, 4-0. I was on for Super 6. Everything was looking good. And then it just went to pot in the second half. I don't really know what happened. Gravenberch was very, very quiet. He did one run in the second half where he burst through. Ekitike made a run, but he was offside, and Gravenberch tried to take it on his left foot and got tackled. That would have been nice if he'd have got through. He also had another shot where Wirtz cut it back to him, and he should have scored, in all fairness. He had a lad pulling him a little bit at the back. It wasn't enough for a penalty. It was quite deceitful, the little pulls and nudges that he was giving him, and Gravenberch hit it over the bar. He should have done better on that one, but his first finish was really smartly taken. It curled it into the near post, broke the deadlock. That's excellent. He has been better at scoring goals this season. That's partly down to the fact that Slot seems to let him go forward a lot more, which I don't always agree with. Especially seemingly when we played the 4-3-3 like we played today, he has license to just go forward as much as he wants. Gets the goal. I do think he was a little bit quiet though, and didn't really protect us as much as I would have liked maybe in that second half. So I'm going to give him a 7. Good performance, but not as good as the fullbacks and someone later in the video as well. McAllister, yeah. McAllister is just there at the minute, isn't he? Like, he's like at Christmas, you've invited your family round, and one of your uncles has brought his 4th wife round, and you sort of know her. You don't really. You've met her before, maybe once at someone's wedding. She's there. She's all right. Like, you know that she's not going to harm anybody, but you're thinking, I'm not. She's not the life of the party at the minute because she's his 4th wife, and at this point, the 5th one isn't far away. That's sort of how Maka is at the minute. He's just there. He's not, he's not first to the karaoke singing songs. He's not, telling the best Christmas stories. He's not giving you the best gifts. He's just there. He's just eating your Christmas dinner, and that's it. And that's sort of how he plays. He's not bad. He's not like a hindrance to the team. He competes well. He's trying to battle in the middle. Someone stood on his toe again, I think, or did he stand on someone else's toe? He's always doing that. So one of the two things happens to him every game. Someone stands on his toe, or he stands on someone else's toe every game. That is the most noteworthy thing I can think of for him. What else did he even do? I mean, but also I don't fully blame him. his positioning is so weird. He's so often he stood the furthest man forward, he stood up front. That is just not his game. And I'm convinced that when the World Cup happens and he goes to play for Argentina and he's got Messi, he's got Alvarez up front, amongst the other brilliant players Argentina have, Lautaro Martinez, for example, as well. And he's further back and he's in that midfield with Enzo and he's got his Argentina kit on. I'm convinced he'll be top class. He's yet to really do that for us this season. So for me, it's a 6 for Maka. Just like not, he's almost a 5, but we won, so I'm going to give him a 6. Jones, though, I did think was a bit poor today. I did think he was a bit poor, uncharacteristically giving the ball away at times. In the first half, especially, just like not really taking all that much care of it, which is so unlike him. Even his passing that did go to our players was like a little bit wayward, not quite in the player's path. And also, we didn't build up with him in the same way that we have been with the Diamond. We built up with the 2 at the back rather than the 3. And I think that genuinely affected him, having to go and stand in front of the play rather than be the one building it up. I don't understand why we'd change, really, when it's helped our build up so much in the previous weeks. I guess it's the formation, and Slot doesn't like to build up in that way unless we're playing a Diamond. So I think he struggled a little bit. I don't know, again, like Maka, didn't stamp his authority on the game, but I just think whilst Maka didn't really do much of anything, Jones too often gave the ball away, was a little bit slow at times on the ball as well, and that for me is more of a hindrance than actually just not doing anything at all. I don't mind. I always love how he likes to get on the ball. I always admire that about him. I think that's good. And what I will say is I watched Forest v City at 12:30, and there was like a whole spiel on Elliot Anderson before the game about how he's the best thing since sliced bread. Honestly, you would think this fella is the second coming of Patrick Vieira, the way they talk about this Elliot Anderson bloke. And now, don't get me wrong, he's a decent player, and I think he's going to be pretty good. But it reminds me of when Rice first broke through, and it was like, this guy is literally the world's best midfielder. And now Rice has gone on to be a very good player. You know, I'm going way off topic here, but the point is, Elliot Anderson is not that much better than Curtis Jones, and you could make an argument that Jones is better. You know, you certainly could. They are a very, very similar level, but you'll never hear the buzz for Jones, but you'll hear it for Elliot Anderson, and I don't know why. That said, today he was a 5, and maybe that's why, because today he was a bit crap. He wasn't, however, as crap as Federico Chiesa, and maybe, just maybe, this is why he doesn't play for us all that often, because is he actually just shit? He might be. He might be crap. He played today. Now, it's not easy to come in when you never play and just suddenly play well. It isn't easy, guys. But that performance certainly won't do him any favours today. I mean, he was not great, was he? I mean, he was there, and it was a clear tactic in the first half to not pass the ball to the right-hand side where Chiesa was. It was all on the left. I don't know if you noticed. Never did we pass it out to the right. One time we actually passed it out to the right, and the crowd did an ironic cheer. So that shows you how little we actually gave it out there. And maybe it was Slot saying, you know, I've got to pick him because there's no one else, but don't pass him the ball because I hate him. Maybe that was, you know, what was going on there. What I will say about Chiesa, though, is his look at the minute is phenomenal. It really is. It's almost worth a bonus point. He came out with wet hair today. It's like slicked back. He looks like the slimy underboss of some sort of mob family organisation called like the D'Alessandros or something like that, right? And it looks like he goes around, he calls people wise guys, you know, and he's the leader of the mob that he's in today told him, you know, to put a hit out on that big giant Tolu fella, the green giant they had up front, and Chiesa executed it perfectly. I mean, he whacked him beautifully, executed the whack bellissimo. It really was. He just ran over, flying elbowed him in the face, and he was down for about 10 minutes. I mean, he's lucky that the hit wasn't to kill and it was just to injure, you know, pay the debts to the Chiesa family, because he wellied him. And it really fit in with his look at the minute. Maybe that's why he doesn't play, because he's so busy at the weekend doing organised crime. I will say, that's all allegations. I've got nothing to actually back up this information. If it ever comes out Chiesa's part of the mob, I knew nothing. However, I do know today that he was rubbish, and he gets a 3. Right. Ekitike, He has a big problem at the minute, Ekitike, and we're going to have a big problem with him at the minute going forward because he's our only striker now, the only one we have at the club. Okay, now we do have young strikers, obviously, namely Jaden Dance, who's permo injured. But if he gets injured, Ekitike, we've got nobody. We're playing Chiesa, we're playing Gakpo, we're playing false nines. We've got no one left. So he's going to have to play every week. The problem we've got is he can't play more than 70, 75 minutes a game before he can't move. I mean, literally, he can't move after that amount of time. He just, his legs don't work anymore. They go full Prue Leaf wooden legs, and he can't move them. He gets knackered. Listen, in 6 months' time, I'm doing the free peaks, right? And I'm convinced that if not now, but definitely by then, when I'm fit enough to do the free peaks, I'll be fitter than he is right now. And I reckon I've got a good case for being fitter than him now, because he is. I don't even know if it's his fitness or maybe it's just him, as like maybe he just gets tired. Like, no matter how fit he'll ever be in his career, that's just what he'll be like. Some players are just like that, but he does get tired and his level drops so much and it affects us in the game. I think that's why we can't sustain our good performance for that long, because we can't keep the ball forward, we can't make chances, we can't score more goals because all our players get knackered. You think of him in the first half, like the setup he gets for Wirtz's goal, the assist he gives is brilliant. He road runners past the Wolves players again. He is grease lightning. I've said this before. When he gets going, he plays a really nice ball through. Wirtz gets onto it and obviously scores. It was great play from Ekitike. You're thinking, amazing. That's the link up you want to see from those two. Really, really good. Wirtz put him through as well. He had a good chance, hit the post. Unlucky not to score. Maka hit the post. Just remembered something Maka did. He hit the post, but Chiesa was offside, so it wouldn't have counted, probably. Anyway. So the point of Ekitike is he's good when he's got batteries, but his batteries run out. Somebody needs to give him some Duracell superchargers or something like that, whatever the best battery is. Someone needs to put that in him, because whatever they're rocking with at the minute, Amazon's basic batteries, they're not doing the job. For me, he gets a 6 or a 7. Ooh, it's a tough one, because the assist was really nice, but he did get so tired. I'll give him a 7. The assist was really good. And he hit the post. He was unlucky. For me, though, the man of the match in this game, and I'm so thrilled to say that finally Florian Wirtz has a goal for Liverpool. Thank God for that, honestly. I nearly had to put that on my New Year's resolutions to celebrate that first Florian Wirtz goal. However, I didn't have to. Best believe he scored that goal. Kecks were off, undies on the head. Wirtz has finally scored, and guess what? They were my Florian Wirtz personalised undies with his face just right on them. Just a big close-up of his face. Loved it. I mean, we've waited long enough, haven't we? 27th of December, and he finally scores his first goal. But his performance level, he's consistently at the minute, the last month or so, been our best player, I would say, in games. Szoboszlai, obviously, for the first part of the season, was dominating every game. Wirtz is really showing his class now, and it wasn't just a goal, which was well taken, by the way, just one touch into his path. Good run in the centre of the pitch, crucially. Notice where he was when he picked up that ball. Makes a good run through, toes it in the net. Just cool finish. I was absolutely buzzing. Tap the Liverpool badge. I could have cried. I had tears in my eyes. Florian Wirtz has scored a goal for Liverpool. Thank God for that. A goal and assist in his last 2. He's really kicking into gear. Obviously had a bit of a slow adjustment period. But we're seeing today more of his dribbling. That was something that he was so good at for Leverkusen, one of the best dribblers in the world. And he basically didn't dribble past anybody or do any dribbles at all for the first couple of months that he was at Liverpool, especially in the Premier League. We're seeing that now. He was just flying past players today all over the pitch. The one in the second half where he goes, there's a little step over, goes past someone. Again, like I said this in the last video, took all of his atoms, dispersed them on the other side of the defender, and then reconnected them all together to just get round him, play the ball to Gravenberch, who should have scored. That should have been an assist for him. Had the shot from the edge of the box, the corner that came in. Oh, that was another thing Maka did. He took corners and he's utterly shite at them. Take him off corners and set pieces in general. He just kept wellying them as hard as he could. I'm remembering things about Maka as we go here. This is excellent. Let Wirtz take him. He got given one, like sort of short to the edge of the box, and he hit it. It actually ended up hitting off his own foot. That was a bit unlucky. I'd like to see him do better because he had more time to do better with that one. But overall, he was the best player. He really was. You can see his level is just so high. He's always thinking to try and do something to help us score a goal. Linking up really well with Kerkez on that left side. Like I said, he finds him a lot with that sort of underlapping run on the ground, chipped balls. You know, he was just excellent today. He really was. And for me, he gets a 9. That first goal, it was too sweet not to give him a 9. Not quite good enough to be a 10. He's also one who gets a bit tired towards the end of games, and he got subbed off again today, right at the end. But yeah, brilliant performance again from him. Love to see him getting up to the level that we knew we'd signed in summer. You look at that, and you look at Frimpong, Kerkez, Ekitike, Wirtz, all our new signings that are all playing well in this game. It's great to see. Conor Bradley came on for half an hour. I was convinced this was going to be for Frimpong, given that he's got, you know, hamstrings that might fall off at any given moment. Turned out it was for Chiesa. Slot had seen absolutely enough of his biggest enemy in the world and took him right off after 60 minutes to put Frimpong on the right wing and put Bradley at right back, who actually did really well, I think. And that tackle he makes when they squared the ball across and it was going to John Arias at 2-1 was... I mean, it was an absolutely crucial tackle because it's a tap-in for Arias, and it would have been 2-2, and I don't think we'd have scored. So, unbelievable tackle. That's definitely worth some points in my eyes, especially for a substitute cameo. Really, really good. Also made a few decent tackles, like just pressuring the ball when it would come towards him, and that was the bit of intensity that a lot of our players really lacked at the end. Just maybe for... maybe by design, maybe lack of fitness, maybe lack of effort, who knows. But he had it in abundance. Made a few darts forward as well. Unlucky on one where he was sort of on the left wing and he tried to jink in on his right foot and got tackled. But I don't mind it, trying to take his man on. But that block was so good that to me, it's an 8 for Bradley because it was genuinely a block that saved us the win. So you have to reward that, and that's an 8 off the bench. Gakpo came on. He also had yellow boots on. He can throw them right in the bin with Virgil van Dijk's pair. Maybe they're not even the same brand, so you know, just get rid of them, both of you. Good to see him back from injury. I don't know how fit he was. He played 10 minutes, and that's because Ekitike could barely move. He didn't really do anything when he came on. So what we'll do is we'll just give him a 6, and then Nyoni came on, who did even less, but at least he could move, which is more than what could be said for Wirtz and Ekitike by the end of the game. Shows where we are, doesn't it? We make 3 subs in this game, and one of them is Nyoni, who is like 10 years old, and Gakpo, who's injured as fuck. So, I don't really know. Nyoni 6, and that is the player ratings for a game that was not a classic. You probably won't remember this one in a year's time. I will, because I can't seem to forget football games. They mentioned in this one, we lost to Wolves in 2010, and I can remember who scored in that game. It was Stephen Ward, and I was 8 years old. I just can't forget these ones, but you lot, most people who are normal, will probably forget this game. It was very forgettable. It was in the week of forget, between Christmas and New Year, but they're the player ratings for it. So guys, I really do hope that you did enjoy this video, and if you did enjoy the player ratings, please do leave a like on the video. We're trying to get to 30 for every single video these days, so if you can click that like button and help me get there, that would be great. Comment away what you think of the player ratings, what you think of the game today, whether you agree, disagree, whatever. Let me know in the comments below, and I will reply to you all. I always do. And please do click subscribe as well, guys. Thank you very much for helping me hit 350 subscribers. We are aiming for 500 now. That is the target, but we did hit 350 this morning. So thank you very, very much for that, everybody. Don't want to let that one just fly by, because 350 is still crazy to me that many people subscribe to the channel and listen to me waffle on about football. Well, let's get to 500. So if you are new and you did enjoy, click subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews. You know what to do. Follow the show. Really appreciate you listening to the ratings in that format. I will be back in the coming days to tactically analyse that game. Whoopie-doo, can't wait for that one. But please do watch, it's going to be a great video, is what I should say. Until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of this sort of weird time of year, weird week. Get your New Year's resolutions sorted, get them in the comments if you want. And I'll speak to you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. See you later.